Welcome to Novosibirsk. I'm here standing in front of the Lenin statue near the center, and we're gonna take a walk around the city and show you some of the nice sights that it has. One of the more unique statues that I've seen of Lenin, because this time he's not alone. He of course has or is flanked by different statues of other people or of other figures which represent other things. And behind it, there's a building which we're gonna go check out now. Usually there'll be flowers planted on this plot of land here, but because winter has just ended, they're getting everything ready. I've mentioned many times before that after winter in Russia, they repaint, they put the tiles back down on the floor, they put flowers back in the gardens. Anyways, this is a theater and we're gonna take a closer look at it. And so at the front of the building, you get to see these pillars or these columns, which there's 12 on each side, and it makes for a beautiful location to take pictures and videos, as you can see these ladies doing right now. But there's 24 in all, and it's magnificent. The city is not old. The city was founded in 1893 on the right side of the river Ob, and it had a different name at the time, which I cannot pronounce. But what's interesting about this city is that it gained a lot of popularity after the revolution. The Soviet Revolution destroyed what was already existing, and in 1927 under Joseph Stalin, the city gained prominence and it became something bigger. It gained a lot of importance. During the Second World War, a lot of industry moved to this city, and it is now the third largest city of all Russia, third largest in population. See, there's people all over just taking videos and photos. Why? Because the building is actually very well built and it's very attractive, and it's flanked on the side with the park. Of course, any patch of dirt that you see will have flowers, and it's just a very nice place to visit if you want to take photos and videos. Let's move on. You know, this is probably the saddest day. Senya's still sad because yesterday we didn't get to see much animals, and she's been depressed all day. But as you saw from the video of the zoo, the weather actually is a lot better today. It's a little bit windy, but it is warmer. And now we're leaving the theater. The park's behind us, and there's actually a red line on the floor. You know, in Irkutsk it's green, but there's a red line showing tourists where they can walk to see the nice places, and that's where we're heading now. There we have Senya on the red line, and in Irkutsk, like I said, it's green. We're going to follow it that way, where there's perhaps a church or some other style of building, and we're going to check out some of these memorial billboards that a lot of Russian cities put up for May 9th. And luckily they're still up because I find them fascinating. These are all women of history in Russia. Look at that. You know, I think this is celebrating women in Russia. You see the arts, you see soldiers, you see people of all types, actresses. It's just awesome. If you're a lover of all things Soviet, just come to Novosibirsk. A lot of the buildings have the hammer and the sickle all over them. A very Soviet city. There's this small little church in the middle of these avenues. It's very nice. It's flanked by a very modern building with glass and a brick building on the left. So it's a very beautiful sight. Novosibirsk is a very noisy city. It's populated with over 1.6 million people. Cars are constantly on the street. This avenue here allows you to walk down the center without any traffic. And that's why we're taking this route here. Check it out. We're going down this way. And you don't have to worry about the cars. You can just walk. Walk, walk, walk. And so walking is what we're going to do. Down this street, looking for things, some interesting things. Like I mentioned before, the city is very young. I do not expect to see anything that I haven't seen already, but I will say one of the cool things about this city is that there's so many people and they have so many places to go. And sometimes it's just amazing just watching people, you know, rushing to get somewhere, because I'm certainly in no rush. And these pigeons are flying right now. Oh, they're gone. Oh, here comes one. Look at him, look at him. Oh, there's more. I'm scared they're gonna hit us actually. Oh, they're just flying around everywhere. All right, anyways, we're going to keep walking here. Maybe you see some pigeons flying over us. Senya's scared of pigeons. If anyone else is scared of pigeons, comment down below. Yeah, look at this building here. On the corner here is this building for sure is built in the early 1900s, because it has the signature top part that looks just like the ones in Irkutsk. Here we have the pigeon colony of Novosibirsk, one of the pigeon colonies. If you want to get poop on you, you just have to walk through here a few times. As it turns out, this entire street where we were just walking is just a memorial for this perhaps pilot, because this Red Army pilot, a lot of things on the sides are basically from the Air Force. You can see a propeller there, and this entire street has mosaics on the side, and it leads all the way up to the church. So that's very, very cool. This is something I never expected to see. This is the first statue I've ever seen of Tsar Nicholas. Now, he's standing here with his son Alexei, and I believe that the city was originally named after him. And the city later got the name Novosibirsk after the Soviets took over. We're following these red arrows, and listen guys, this city is unbelievable. It's building a brand new bridge across the river Ob, and I've never seen more buildings being built, more infrastructure ever in my life in one city. So Novosibirsk is absolutely brand new. Please let me know down below, if you're from Novosibirsk, how many bridges exist here? How many bridges cross the Ob River? Comment below. This city is so filled with cars, man. They are so disrespectful. I'm sorry, but it is out of control out here in Novosibirsk. If you are from here and you're a crazy driver, slow down. Slow down, please. The amount of times we've almost been ran over, or the amount of times where I've seen close people like almost crashing, is more than, you know, even Mongolia. And in Mongolia it's pretty bad, but I think people are actually in a rush in Novosibirsk. It's a growing city, I can understand, but I forgive you. Anyways, we're here at the edge of the Ob River. We walked from the center all the way to the Ob, so you can see it yourself. And after this, we're gonna walk back up into the city and explore the kind of like the communal streets. So we made it to the Ob River. We're gonna take a small walk down this path. There's actually a bike path that leads all the way down. I think it's fairly new because they're building this bridge, and it might continue across the bridge onto the other side of the city. This is the path that I'm talking about. On the left is the park. There's a park on the left, and it has a 2-lane bike path, and pedestrians can walk here next to the river. You can see that one of the bridges already has enough traffic, and that's why they're building a new one. The Ob is actually very, very wide in my opinion. But here we are at the banks of the Ob, and we're gonna touch the water to see if it's cold. And it's not. The Angara is actually way colder than that. After seeing the river, I am going to say this is why I miss Baikal. This is why I miss the river Angara, because it's not a bias. I just believe that it's cleaner, it's nicer, it's more beautiful. I'm sorry, Novosibirsk. We took a walk around the park and found some random sculptures, and we ran into some matryoshka. You know, this is basically a symbol of Russian culture. You can go anywhere and many stores will sell them, of course, small sized ones. You know, I also said that this place was filled with traffic, and I took a time lapse so you could just see the constant movement. When I say that this city is constantly building, I mean it's constantly building new living space for people. Over there seems to be 2 apartments being built. And here is a complex that has been built already in the last maybe 5 years. And it's all just growing and growing and growing. Okay, I'm so excited, guys. Behind me is what looks to be an old wooden structure. The design of it is very, very old. What's interesting about this street is it seems like this is an original street of maybe at least 50 years old. Could be some of the original houses, I'm not sure. But I've never seen buildings like this so far in Novosibirsk. What's fascinating and it's mind-blowing is right across the street, they're starting to build modern buildings. So what's going to happen to these old ones? Are these going to be demolished? If I return in 10 years, will that house still be here? I am not sure, but I'm going to guess that it's not going to be here. Why? Because behind these buildings, I'm sorry, there's already skyscrapers. So these are going to be sandwiched in. And if I know something about Russia is that it doesn't allow stuff like this to coexist. At least not like this. Just to give you an idea, my friends, of what we're looking at here. This seems to be a 1 block of old houses. Behind it, all the new skyscrapers. And it's only going to get more and more modern. As the new bridge comes in, they're going to build new buildings. Hey, Senya, do you think the houses will be there in 10 years? No? So come see Novosibirsk's old houses while you can. This corner house maybe has a chance. But maybe, because on one side it's modernized, but on the other side it's still made of wood. I'm guessing that this house is probably at least 50 years old as well. But will they survive? Who knows? Look what it's surrounded by. High-rise apartments on every side, and soon to be on this side as well. We had to cross through building sites because, like I said, everything is being built in Novosibirsk. It's just everywhere you go, there's construction. You guys saw the video from the zoo. Here are some new buildings. This is insane. Where is that smoke coming from? Now that we've explored the outsides of the city, we're gonna hop into a taxi and go eat some tacos. Yes, you heard me right. We're going to a Mexican restaurant here in Novosibirsk to eat a taco, to energize ourselves to continue on the day. And so we're here at the Taqueria del Centro in Novosibirsk. And what I find very interesting is that usually in Mexico, when you want to eat tacos, you go to the Centro. So the name is very appropriate. The name is one of the most authentic names for a Mexican restaurant, El Centro. And here are their delicious tacos. Now, if you get closer so you can see the tacos, they use whatever they have. This is their own recipe. And I had them yesterday, and they were amongst the most juiciest tacos I've ever eaten. So come get a close up here. And we're gonna take a bite out of this. That's absolutely delicious. What we had was pulled beef taco with 3 types of onions, a special sauce. The tortilla was delicious. And it's just great. The restaurant has everything from tacos to quesadillas to burritos, everything you would find in a normal Mexican restaurant. And I would say that it has a kind of like a Los Angeles vibe, because I am from California and the taste is authentic. I really enjoy it. So if you're ever anywhere near Novosibirsk, you have to stop by, please. And now it's Senya's turn to taste. Let's see the taco. That is absolutely juicy and it's still dripping. We're gonna leave her alone. But do you like it? Is it delicious? It's very delicious. We had these yesterday and I told them I would come back. The inside of the restaurant is so beautiful because it is designed exactly how I remember San Juan de Dios in Guadalajara, Jalisco. This is the style of counters that we eat in. You know, if you've ever been to Mexico, we don't actually like to sit. A lot of the people will not even sit on these benches. We'll eat standing and we'll be on our way. I will say that being a Mexican and seeing Mexican restaurants in Russia is something that I find very beautiful. Even more beautiful is the fact that they have a lot of our alcohol, like mezcal, tequila, and cerveza. After some good tacos, it's always good to walk. Thank you so much for welcoming us and allowing us to record inside. My friends, you know that I am Mexican, of course, and whenever I see a Mexican restaurant, if it's good, I will talk about it. And this has to be the best Mexican food in all of Novosibirsk. If you are from Novosibirsk or if you're visiting Novosibirsk and you happen to go to their restaurant and you're watching this video, please tell them hello for us. Yes, I'm going to miss this place a lot. The street directly in front of the theater is the street where all the food is. So that's where we ate, and there's plenty of other food, but today is we ate Mexican food. Novosibirsk is so massive that it has entire streets dedicated for one thing. Of all the cities in Russia, I have to say that Novosibirsk has the most graffiti or street art than any other city that I've ever visited. And it's not only stuff like what you'll see right now, but it's basically markers, small spray cans, and every other way of tagging. I'm not sure if this is all legal work or how it works out here, but this entire alley is basically tagged up. But some of it is pretty nice, you know, it actually looks like art, but then you have the random tags. So just the interesting observation that I had when I got to Novosibirsk is the amount of art, graffiti that's on the streets. We have crossed the river into the old part of Novosibirsk. In these neighborhoods, it's a lot more I guess you would call basic buildings, right? Because of the ones that are on the other side are all different colors and different designs and much taller than these buildings. This actually looks like a normal small city. What I'm basically doing is walking down what a normal neighborhood, just to get a feeling for it. This kind of reminds me of any major city in America where you'll see like graffiti on the walls like that, just tagged up for no reason. The buildings, even on the houses, are tagged. It's something that plagues large cities. Of course, the largest city that I'm used to seeing on the regular is Irkutsk, and honestly, there's not that much going on there as far as graffiti, like I showed you earlier. And this is definitely not the sort of stuff I expected to see. On the other side of Novosibirsk, there's obviously not a lot of trash and rubbish all over, but On this side, it seems to be different. You see just different buildings and a different environment. Can anybody tell me, if you're from Novosibirsk, if it's like this? One side of the bridge is like this and the other looks like this. Why? This is the second time I've seen Solaris FM. I'm not sure if somebody's really likes the radio station, or the radio station likes to do graffiti all over the city. But that's really funny. It's the second time I've seen that. And you know, there seems to be a large amount of or immigrants. There's an immigrant community, basically, is what I'm trying to say, in this part of the city. And we've noticed that because of the people that are outside and stuff like that. For me, that's absolutely normal. Being from Los Angeles, this is normal for me. For Senya, not so much. And that's the thing. When a city expands, when a city grows, it goes away from the old foundations, and it kind of leaves behind in the rubbles the old part, because this part is definitely the older side of the city. That's guaranteed. One thing I want to make Senya understand is, no matter how bad this looks, you're not getting robbed, you're not getting shanked, you're not getting shot. And that's something that I truly appreciate here in Russia. I know a lot of Russian people might think they're unsafe, or their society is a little bit dangerous, but I guarantee you that if I told you to walk down some streets in Los Angeles, you would either come out naked, dead, or missing some part of your body. And the reason why I'm telling you this is that you must appreciate what you have. Even though sometimes it might look bad, or you might think it's dangerous, there's always going to be worse places, right? And I can tell you right now that if you're on either side of Novosibirsk, like we have been, it's completely safe, and you're free to walk around no matter where you're from. It's awesome. All right, guys, and from the walls and the alleys of Novosibirsk, we thank you so much for joining us on this journey, and I hope you learned something new. Maybe you're from Novosibirsk and you saw something that you never known before. Please do comment down below any comments, any thoughts, any ideas, anything that you would like to share. And if you're from Novosibirsk, please do pass this video on. Let your friends know that we were here, and so they can see that their city is actually very beautiful, and it's growing every day. Thank you. Bye.